Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome in. I would like to show you tonight how I do an epoxy resin cup, the steps on doing it and everything. This one I'm going to be making for Halloween since we are in the season. So let's get started. What I have here right now is a 20-ounce stainless steel double insulated cup. And it's very good. This is what I do use to make the resin cups, and pretty much everybody else uses the same type of cups. So the first thing I do is I spray the cup down with 99% alcohol to get rid of any fingerprints that I might have had on the cup from putting it on my cup turner here, because any type of grease or anything on it, the epoxy will not adhere to the cup. And all our hands naturally have, all our body has a natural oils in it. So this will remove all of that from the cup. And I clean all the sides and the bottom really well. Now my next step, what I'll be doing is I'm going to be measuring out my resin. It is a 2-part resin, a part 1 and a part 2, a part A and B. And you put equal amounts of each. Right now I'm weighing out part A and now part B. And with the resin, you're going to want to mix it for 2.5 minutes at least to make sure it is completely clear in color. That way you know you have the 2 parts equally mixed. It will turn completely clear. When you first start mixing it, it does look a little bit cloudy. Alexa, set timer for 2.5 minutes. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm mixing the 2 parts of resin together. I will have a link in the bottom of this video with the website if you are interested in purchasing a cup or anything like that. You could go to the link and check out the website and make a custom order if you'd like, or purchase one of the cups that are already made, whichever you feel like doing. Now the resin that I am using, it is not a fast set resin. It takes about 8 hours to completely cure before I can put any type of a decal or anything on it. If you are in a warmer temperature, like the room I'm in right now this evening, it is warmer. So it does mix quicker than the 2.5 minutes. It all depends, but what you want to do is make sure that the resin is clear. It does not look cloudy anymore before you apply it. Alexa, stop timer. So that's my 2.5 minutes. On my cups, I pour off some of the resin that I had mixed to do my swirl, and I'll explain to you when I get to that spot of what the swirl is and what it does. So I'm pouring that off separate. Now to this resin, what I'm going to be adding is a orange mica powder. It's just a plain orange. It does shimmer a little. I got this from Eye Candy, the company. It is on Amazon. I'm going to put some of this into my resin. I put about 1.5 of these little scoops. It's not a very big scoop, but about 1.5 scoops into my resin. And then you're just going to mix that thoroughly. Make sure you scrape the sides of the cup so you get it all off the sides and mixed in. And like I said, you just keep mixing it until you mix it thoroughly. It doesn't take much to mix it up. That's the resin with the mica powder in it. And I do put on a glove when I'm about to spread this, because you do not want to spread it with your bare hands. And I always start out with putting it on the bottom of the cup, and then I start spreading on the top. And you just keep spreading it until it coats the whole cup. So I do it till I get the whole cup coated, and then with the resin that's still left, I do not waste it. I go ahead and pour it onto the cup, and then I come back after pouring it all on to even it all out on the cup. And I go from the bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom till it goes all the way around, and I know it's fully coated like that. And now I take my torch, because the heat will pop any tiny micro bubbles that you have, and you do not want micro bubbles in your epoxy resin cups. They will leave bumps on your finish coat, and it just won't look nice and smooth. So you do not put the flame directly on the cup. You keep it a little distance from the cup, and you just go back and forth motion, and just the heat will pop any micro bubbles that have come up. And you make sure you get the bottom of the cup too. And that's all it takes, is just that little bit. Next step, what I do now is what we call is dropping inks on the cup. I'm going to be using 3 colors. I'm going to be using a neon green, this color is called indigo, and then also a neon yellow. I'm going to start with the green. It is, like I said, it's a neon green from the company Easy Turns. They make very good mica powders and inks. You can find them on their company name. I will put a link into the bottom of it that you can check them out. And if you do these kind of cups, they are great inks. They are great mica powders to use. So what I'm dropping first is I'm dropping the green, like I said. And there's no special way to drop this, any rhyme or reason. You just put it wherever you'd like it to be, where you'd like those colors. And this green is a mica powder mixed with alcohol. So you do need to make sure you shake them up very well before using them. You'll hear a little BB in there, and that's what helps mix it all up. Now my next color that I'm going to be using is from Easy Turns also. It's called Indigo from Easy Turns. And you always want to make sure you get your ink on the bottom of the cup also, so that way it's a complete project. You're not leaving part of it undone. And now the last color is a neon yellow from Easy Turns. And the good thing when you use the mica powder inks is the mica powders play very nice together. How a lot of us cup people say, because they do not blend together and make like a muddy color, keep themselves from mixing with each other and kind of making like what we call mud. Because you know, when you mix certain colors and they just turn to like a brown muddy look, and with the mica powder inks they don't do that. Now the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that swirl that I was telling you all about. And for this swirl, this is another Easy Turn product. It's called Red Glow Red. It is a mica powder also. This will actually make the cup be able to glow in the dark. This glow, if you have it out in the sunlight during the day, when you bring it in at night or in the evening and say you're ready for bed and you have it on your nightstand, so you have a little water or something to drink during the night, this will end up glowing for up to 12 hours depending on how much sunlight it had gotten through the day. So with the swirl, we're just going to drizzle it on top of the cup everywhere. And what it does is it puts extra epoxy on the cup to make it, when you heat it up, everything will flow and blend with each other, and you're able to put the glow in to it to make it more interesting. And this, there's no, like I said, also rhyme or reason on how you put it on. And I make sure I get the bottom of the cup. The red glow will just be an awesome effect for Halloween. And there's so many things you can do with resin, epoxy resin. I will show you at the end couple of other cups that I've made for Halloween and something else that I've made with my resin for Halloween. But we'll do this one first. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just using a heat gun to apply heat to the cup to get the epoxy to start moving and flowing so I can get the desired look that I want from it. It might sound a little loud, I'm sorry, but it's part of the process. You don't keep the heat gun in one spot at all. You constantly have your heat gun moving back and forth until you start seeing the epoxy or the inks that are in the epoxy start moving. When you first start seeing them move, you're going to want to turn the cup turner into the opposite direction. Like now I can see it starting to move on me, so I'm going to make the cup turn the opposite direction. Apply a little more heat to it. And this heat will also pop any additional micro bubbles that might have come up. And once I start seeing this move again, is when I'm going to be taking it off of my turner and I'm going to manipulate the colors, just by tilting the cup. Alright, so now I'm going to manipulate the colors by tilting my cup up and down. You can do this in any directions that you want to get it to move in any way you'd like. And you just keep working it and keep moving it until the epoxy does not move any longer. But you do want to keep turning the cup so that way not all of the epoxy runs to the bottom side of the cup, because if you kept it, say, this way, all the epoxy is going to run down here. So you want to keep it moving, keep spinning it in your hand until the resin stops moving or comes close to stop moving, such as that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it, see, I'm still turning it in my hand, but I'm going to put it back on the turner for a minute, turn my turner back on, and let it spin for a minute still to get it to set up for just a minute or two. And I'm going to be moving it over to my drying rack to get it to spin out. It will take about 8 hours, like I said, to fully cure. But this is step one on it. I do want to show you the glow before I move it over to my drying rack for the next 8 hours. So I want to show you what that, the red glow epoxy that I have put on it, what it does. So all I'm doing is I'm charging it up with my UV flashlight, but as soon as I shut off the light, you will see a red glow. There's that quick red glow. Like I said, if you leave this out in the sunlight, the longer you leave it out, the more it will glow. This is just a flashlight, so it's not holding the glow as long. Okay, now, while this is finishing to spin off, I'm going to move it over to the drying rack, and I will be back to show you how I do the next step of the decals that I'm going to put on it. Alright, so I'm back. I did end up adding some black glitter to it, to give it a little more of a spooky Halloween colors with the red glow, the green, the neon green, the yellow, and the purple and the orange. What I'm going to show you now is how I put a decal on this cup. It's very simple. Again, what I did is I cut a decal out with my Cricut machine, and this is the decal I'm going to put on my cup. So what you want to do is you want to look at your cup and kind of place the decal, see where you'd like to have it. So I placed the decal, and it's just as when you put a decal on your car, you want to make sure you get all the air bubbles out of it, because any air bubbles that's between your vinyl is what the decal's cut from. Any air bubbles between your vinyl and your epoxy, you will put another final coat of epoxy on this to seal the vinyl in. And if you have an air bubble, the last coat of epoxy that you put on will get underneath the vinyl, and then you'll have a lump. And they're pretty difficult to get out without ruining your vinyl. So I'm going to take this clear part off. So it's going to be just the vinyl, because when I placed this, I did not get any air bubbles, I believe. But if I did, I can get them out still. Yeah, I like that. I got all the air bubbles out. I'll show you a close-up of it. So that's the decal I put on it. All right, now what I'm going to do is put it back on my cup turner. And again, because I've been handling it barehanded, and all the oils, as I had told you before, that are on your hands, you want to get them off of the cup before putting your resin on. So I'm going to spray my cup down again with alcohol. This alcohol will not mess up your vinyl decal in any way. And since your epoxy has already set up, it will not damage your epoxy either. All it's going to do is take off the oils from your hands and fingerprints that you had on your cup. Now, while that's airing off, I'm going to mix my epoxy. And now, again, as I said, you will mix the two parts, part A and part B, until it is no longer cloudy. This is normally about 2.5 minutes. You just want to keep gently stirring it until it is a crystal clear look to it. There is no cloudiness at all. And if you mix this gently, you will not get very many air bubbles that you will need to pop on them with the heat. The faster you mix it, the more air bubbles you will get. Or if you use some type of a mixer, little mixer, that will cause air bubbles also. Okay, it's got the crystal clear consistency that I was looking for and needing. Now with the final coat, I am not going to be adding any type of mica powders or any glows, because it's already all on the cup. This is basically just to seal the vinyl decal in. So like I said, I am doing the bottom first. Make sure I get the whole bottom covered. And now I'm going to coat the rest of the cup. And like I said earlier, I usually start in the middle and I go up towards the top, completely around the cups, as many times as I feel comfortable that I got it completely coated. And you will feel the difference on it when you have the resin on and you hit a spot that is not coated. It will be, you'll feel the difference that it's not coated. It's a little harder to spread that epoxy. So you just let it keep spinning around and just keep pulling your hand from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, and just let it keep going around and keep just pulling it. So I've got the whole cup covered, but I still have some resin left. So I'm just going to go ahead and lightly pour that as the cup turns, because I like to have a full even coat and a good protection over my vinyl. And now spread it evenly, even though I will be taking my torch to it again to make sure I got all the air bubbles in case any did happen to mix in there, which I did see a couple. You cannot rely on your hands to have popped the air bubbles. You are going to want to apply the heat to pop any of the air bubbles that are on there. Now I'm just going to apply the heat to pop the air bubbles. You do not need to apply much heat at all. And do not, like I said earlier, do not put the flame directly on your cup. You're holding it a little distance, as you can see, away from the cup, because the heat from the torch is what is popping the micro bubbles. It's not actually the flame itself. So that's it. And that is how you do an epoxy resin cup. I hope you all enjoyed it. Now that I got that out of the way, I can show you some of the other cups that I have made and some other things that I've made that with resin that I told you you're able to make, because resin, you can do a lot of things with it. This is another cup I had made for Halloween, and this one also glows. And I will shut off the light and show you the glow. Now that one you can really see the glow on that. See, my spiders glow and some of my webs glow. And I have also this one I made. It's with a lot of the classic horror movies. There's Freddy, Fierce Freddy, and Chucky, and the Ghost. Then we've got Pennywise, and we got Jason, and we got Michael Myers. And this cup also glows. Let me just get it a little charged up here, and we'll shut the light off. I hope you were able to see that. But like I said, this one glows also. And some of the other things that you can make with the resin is, I have made these. They are skulls made with the epoxy resin. That's one of them. And this is another one. Almost looks like he has a red brain there. And I've made recently a little pumpkin. And I have also made earrings. Got some spider webs, some skeleton hands. These are all earrings. And then some, oh, get off of there. Some witches' hats. And I know it's Oogie Boogie, he's supposed to be green, but I had someone want him in purple. And some other spider webs. These will not take long at all to charge up. That's the spider web. This is Oogie Boogie. And then another spider web. And something else I made that looks, they're earrings that look really, I really like them a lot, are these that are moons with spiders hanging from them. I think they look amazing. And these, I just need to put the hooks on them for the earrings, like this. Just need to put these hooks on them. So that's just all the different stuff that you can make with the resin. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'll be happy to answer anything that you have any questions about. And let's go out and make stuff and have some fun. You all have a great evening. Please subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and we will catch you next time. Y'all have a great evening. Ring that bell for notifications on the next video. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.